let's create our tail controls. We'll move back to our perspective view. What we'll do is create a box-shaped spline, and we'll have it generated from geometry. So let's head over to our Create panel, and we'll create a box. We'll have the creation method set to cube. Alright, next, let's go ahead and create a spline from this. So we'll first need to convert it to an editable poly. So we'll just right-click and choose Convert Editable Poly. Then we'll grab the edge subobject, grab all of its edges, and now as we scroll down, underneath our Edit Edge rollout, we'll find Create Shape from Selection. So we'll just go ahead and make this a linear spline and choose OK. Alright, great. So at that point, we can go ahead and exit the subobject level of our box and just delete it. So we're left with our spline. Let's go ahead and head over to our hierarchy panel and center its pivot. And now, we'll go ahead and snap this over to our first spline helper. Okay, great. What I'd like to do from here is go ahead and start to bring down the size on this. So let's go to the vertex subobject level, go ahead and grab all of our points, and we'll scale from the center so this isn't so large. Then at that point, we can go to our hierarchy panel and choose Effect Object Only. Going to our Move tool, we can now go ahead and start to move this out and away. Okay. So I think that would work. Let's go ahead and check things in shaded mode. Select the object so we can pivot around that point. Alright, that looks good. So at this point, we can go ahead and rename this object to CS Tail A01. I'll also have it stored in the controls layer. And then we can recolor this to gold. Alright. At this point, it's just a matter of cloning this and aligning it to each spline helper. So let's go back to wireframe mode. I'll go ahead and clone the object. So copy. And now we can go ahead and use pivot snap to snap to each helper. So let's start to drag this down to the next helper. There we go. We'll clone again. Again, we can go ahead and just drag this one down to the next. If you would like, you could also use your Quick Align tool. So it's just a matter of cloning, using Shift A to Quick Align to the next helper. And we'll clone one more. And go ahead and snap this. Great. Alright, so there are our control objects. Let's go ahead and turn off snap. We can go through and start to rename these. So that's going to be B01 and C, D, and then finally E. Okay, great. Well, we have our objects made. We won't be connecting anything just yet. We'll take care of that in the following lesson. So we're just taking this one step at a time. So their pivots are in the right spot, and if you would like, you can always go in and adjust the shape to even this out a little bit more. For example, you can go back to either your vertex subobject level and start to kind of move the shape back a little bit more. Another option is to go to the hierarchy panel and use Effect Object Only if you would like to even this out a bit more, but I think the spacing is just fine. I like where each has been placed. So let's go ahead and stop the lesson here. In the next lesson, we will work on connecting our tail rig to our animation controls.